Hi, Hi, it's Cara, and today I'm filming 2 videos, but this first one, please ignore these because they're not relevant to. This is my February TBR. Some of these books are in the recent video, which will be the one I film here, that is my series I need to work on or finish. This is my February TBR. I apologise for the background noise. I'm gonna wait a minute. So I have 6 books here, and then a lot of new releases coming out. Technically there are only 3 on my TBR that are like really gonna read, and then 3 that are really hope to read. And I'll kind of explain that a bit as I go, but the 3 following the 3 challenges that I've kind of set myself. So the first challenge is a like TBR veteran that's been on my TBR since childhood, and for that I'm going to be reading Ice Fire by Crystal Lacey. This is the second book in the Last Dragon Chronicles. I have read it before, so it's technically a reread, but the last time I read it I was about 12 and I can't remember any of it, and this is the last one in the series I've actually fully read. Only book 2, and it's like a 6-book or 7-book series, and I own all of them, so I really need to get to this. This is book 2, Ice Fire. I'm going to be reading it this month. It is a middle grade dragon based fantasy. As a kind of intro to the book, the dragons are also in a really cool form. They're like little clay miniatures that then come to life. So if you like cool, interesting dragon stories, I would definitely recommend this series. The second category is a book that's been on my shelf a bit too long, like, and just needs to get read. And for that I'm going to be reading The Red Threads of Fortune by Ji Yang. This is a novella that is the second book in the Tensor trilogy. It's a series actually, it's not a trilogy, it's a series of novellas. I read the first one last year. I meant to read this one straight away and just didn't get to it, so that's why I want to read it this month. These are silk punk fantasy. And then the third category is a book that I need to read before the next one comes out. Alternatively, I'm doing all those ones at the start of the year, but as I run out of those, I will probably be doing final books in a series that recently came out. So this one is Two Dark Rains by Kenda Blake. The third one will be coming out sometime later in the year, and I've had this for a while and I really enjoy this series, so I need to get on it. So this is book 3, and there's a novella book bind up in the 3 Dark Crowns series. This is a young adult fantasy following 3 triplets, as triplets have to be, that are all fighting to be queen, but it's more slow paced, atmospheric than that. If you're going in there looking for like fast paced action, you're not going to find it, but it's beautiful. I love the series. The characters are all really complex and interesting. The next are 3 books that kind of just ended up on this TBR in a vague sense. If I don't get to them I won't feel too bad, but I kind of want to read them. So the first is one of the books from my top 5 predictions, and this is just the one I'm feeling like reading next, so I might switch it out for a different one, but I'm currently really feeling The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. Also because the third one just came out, the end of this trilogy just came out, so I'd like to read all of these this year if I can, so I've got to read this sooner in the year rather than later. This is an adult fantasy, historical fantasy, I believe, set in Russia, and everyone raves about it, so I'm really excited to read it. A book that I'm scared will end up on my TBR forever until I unhaul it, but I actually am currently really interested in reading it, so I want to get to it soon before I forget, and that is Pre-Incarnate, which is also a novella, so it should be fast, by Sean McAuliffe. It's only like 200 pages, just over 200 pages, and quite big font with lots of pictures, so that's the font, which is quite big, and then many of the pages have pictures, so this should go by really fast. My sister-in-law got this for me for Christmas, and it was like she was handing it down and she really enjoyed it, so I'm keen to try this. Sean McAuliffe is an Australian comedian and I think it'll be a fun time. It gives me very like Terry Pratchett vibes. If you've read Terry Pratchett's sciencey books, and then the Ben Elton book that was time travel, like this reminds me of that kind of thing. There's a time travel like science book by Terry Pratchett that's like the Wizards science series, and this is giving me all those kind of vibes. It's got time travel and science and stuff, and it sounds awesome. And the final one is in a series that if you check out my wrap up, which will be coming probably next week from when you see this, I read the first 3 books and a novella in this series. And I don't want to let the last 2 books that I own slip by the wayside. I listened to the first 3 on audiobooks, but the 4th one isn't available on audio, and the 5th one is, but it's a different narrator, so I'm kind of not keen. But I own all the series in physical copy, so I'm going to try and read book 4 at least. Maybe book 5, but I'll only show you book 4. This is a prequel series to the Old Kingdom Chronicles by Garth Nix, and this is Clariel. So this is book 4. It is a prequel, so I've heard it's not the best, whereas the 5th one is a sequel, and is better. But I'm really excited to see more from this world, because I just love the magic system, so I'm really excited to see how this ties in. It is not that, it's only like 400 pages. Yeah, okay, it's only like just under 400 pages. It's not, it looks thick, but I think it's a little bit, my copy might be a little bit sun damaged, so it might be a bit of that. Like, I've got some sunspots on there. I've had this for a while. I've had this whole series for ages, but I've finally gotten around to listening to the audiobook of the first 3 and loved them all. They were all, spoiler alert, 5 and 4 star, 4.5 star reads, like really good, highly rated reads. So I'm super excited to read this and finish the series sooner rather than later. Like, hopefully I can read this one, maybe Golden Hand, which is the 5th one, this month, but also February is a bit short, so maybe I'll read Golden Hand in March, but I really want to read them ASAP. Then we have some new releases that are going to be coming out this month that I want to mention. There's a couple that are coming out that I'll likely buy and hopefully will read, but I don't know if I'll get to them. There's also a couple of releases from January that came out so far late in the month that I don't think I'll get a chance to read them. But I won't mention them here either because they were in my January TBR. And there's one that's coming out in February that comes out 2 days before the end of February, so I think I'm just going to leave it till my March TBR. But so I also want to read this month The Vanishing Stair by Maureen Johnson, which is book 2 in the Truly Devious series. This is a mystery. I loved book 1. I'm so excited for book 2, and it's currently shipping to me, so I'm very excited. It technically came out at the end of January, but I won't get it till right at the end of January, so I'm going to read that in February. The second one is Blood Witch by Susan Dennard, which is the sequel, the 3rd book in the series of the Witchlands saga, and I love the Witchlands. This is young adult fantasy, just classic young adult fantasy, and it's so good. The magic system is awesome, and I love it, and I can't wait to read this one. And the other one I'm really, really hopeful to read is Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman. This is the physical bind-up of the webcomic Heartstopper, and I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be really, really good. So those are all the books I'm hopeful to read in January. I might read more. I might read different ones. I might not forget through everything. Like, there are a couple of other books that I will own by the end of January that I would also like to read. A couple of other February releases. I have 2 other February releases that I might buy. Actually 3. And so maybe might get to those. Things from January I might get to. Other random things I might get to. But also, February might be a dud reading month. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to try my best to get through all the books I mentioned today. And you can keep track. Also, there are a couple of book clubs I'm waiting to hear what the book of the month is. And that definitely happened in January. I added some last minute reads because I joined some book club read-alongs. So, who knows? Who knows? Anyway, thank you for watching. Keep an eye out for my January wrap-up and hauls, which will be coming very soon. And I'll see you soon with another video. Thanks. Bye.